We are the New York Knicks. We gon' break them down. New York. We gon' shake them down. New York. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We gon' break them down. New York. We gon' shake them down. New York. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.
What up? What's going on, everybody? Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Church Guys post-game show for January the 17th, 16th, 17th. What day is it? I don't even know anymore. 2024, game 41. We are officially at the midpoint of the NBA season in number of games. 41 games in, Knicks improve to 24-17, which puts them on track for a 48-win season in a loaded Eastern Conference with a 109-94 win at the Garden tonight. They hold serve at home, beating a scrappy Houston Rockets team coached by Ime Udoka, who was, as we know, was unceremoniously let go by the Boston Celtics a couple years ago due to some indiscretions that he had with a member of the front office's spouse. And one thing that I always said about Udoka is he's a really good coach. He's a really good defensive-minded coach. Boston lost something when they let him go on the defensive end of the ball, but you can see that his Rockets team, while they're not the most talented in terms of offense, this is a defensive-minded team that plays hard, and they're going to be really good once they get some things under their belt. Bishop J. Mack has joined us. Talk to us, Bishop.
What's going on, Bishop? Great win for the Knicks tonight. As you said, halfway point of the season, improving to 24-17. I remember there would be a time that the Knicks would have given this game away and just folded once they made their run, particularly the games that Fred VanVleet, for some reason, he gets up for the Knicks.
Oh, he kills us. He absolutely kills us.
Yeah,
killed us in Toronto, and nothing has changed.
Yeah, he gets up. He gets up for the Knicks, and you know, in years past, we didn't have a point guard to answer him. But now we have Brunson. Again, a magnificent game for him. Randall played well tonight. I like the fact that Randall stayed out of foul. He got those fouls, but was able to stay on the floor. Again, I see growth in him because there was a time he would have picked up a ticky-tack fifth foul, and he would have been out of the game mentally.
How about that block shot down the stretch that they tried to call a foul on, but it was clean. I mean, it was clean.
Didn't even put his body on the man.
Nope.
I mean, it was so clean. I mean, it was so clean. The refs thought it had to be a foul, but thank goodness for replay. On Tibbs' birthday, happy birthday, Tibbs!
Happy birthday, Coach!
Happy birthday, Coach! But yeah, Randall, and how about that beautiful touch pass?
Great
my goodness,
great
to
pass.
Anunoby. I was like, wow. You know, I really believe that when he said what he said the other day about getting tough skin, I think these years in New York has allowed him to become a different player. He's better than he was 2-3 years ago, the first time we went to the playoffs with him. He's a different player. Yeah, we still got to deal with his little antics, but he's much more mature now than he was 2 or 3 years ago. Again, great win for the Knicks. Scrappy win. Anunoby gets hot in the third quarter, hitting those 2 threes, running the floor, playing the passing lane, doing what he does. Great win for the Knicks.
Absolutely. Randall and Brunson go over 30 points tonight. Brunson with 30, Randall with 31. OG Anunoby, a typical OG game, 15 points, 5 rebounds, countless deflections, and great job defensively as always. You know, Tibbs did something a little curious midway through the second quarter and for part of the third quarter by putting him on the big Serbian Sagun, and it really made a difference. Anunoby really defended him well and frustrated him a little bit with his physical presence without fouling. And, you know, that is the beauty of having an OG Anunoby on your team. You've got somebody 1 through 5. If somebody's having a good game, you can stick on Anunoby on him just to get him off rhythm for a little while. He doesn't have to play him for the entire game, but if he can get him out of rhythm, Anunoby has done his job, and he has really done that. Knicks improved to 7-2 now with OG Anunoby since the trade, and another trade went down in the NBA, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But overall, a nice bounce back win from the game they gave away on Martin Luther King Day. I say they gave it away because Orlando was ripe for the taking that day. And the Knicks should have won that game. And it was a game where, you saw down the stretch, Jalen Brunson is our closer. That is the guy who, when we need a bucket in the fourth quarter to keep the other team at bay or a big bucket just to get us back into the game, Jalen Brunson has taken that on his shoulders to be the number one option down the stretch. And we missed that on Monday night. Monday afternoon. That was the key to that loss. Taking nothing away from Deuce's day on Monday. Deuce was great. 20 points, career high. But down the stretch, he's not Jalen Brunson. Not yet, anyway. Not yet.
Absolutely. I'm always concerned about Orlando, and then not having Brunson. But as you said, the Knicks should have had that game up 7 going down the stretch in the fourth. The Knicks, you usually think the Knicks are going to win a game like that. And tonight's game was eerily similar.
Yes.
It was eerily similar, but having Brunson on the floor turned the tide.
Absolutely. He is the difference maker. And,
Yeah.
and you saw that on Monday. Not having him was huge down the stretch. But I still feel like Monday is a game that we should have gotten, even without Brunson being that we were at home. But I have to even on Tibbs, yes, I know it's coach's birthday, but I got to take issue with him. I just don't understand him. You've got Precious Achua, who only plays, let's call it 5 meaningful minutes, because he played the final minute of the game, so he finished with 6 minutes, but played 5 minutes. This is your backup 4, backup 5. You playing him 5 minutes. You play Deuce 10 minutes. When Brunson is just coming back from an injury, you can't run these guys into the ground. You avoided injuries early on by spreading the minutes around, and you just gave him props a couple shows ago about him managing the minutes better, and now his coach has seemingly regressed to Randall playing. Now Julius only played 34 minutes, and that's only because of foul trouble. He would have been over 40 minutes had he not been in foul trouble. OG Anunoby played 43 minutes. Isaiah Hartenstein played 41 minutes. Jalen Brunson played 37 minutes. No. Not with a back-to-back. Now, granted, it's Washington. They have not been good for a while, but they are an NBA team, which means they're capable of beating you on any given night. If you're seriously, and I don't disagree with what Kendrick Perkins said a couple games ago. I think we all agree that the Knicks can very easily be the second-best team in the conference, but you can't run your guys into the ground before the All-Star break.
Well, this is typical Tibbs. We say this every year. And now that we don't have that bona fide scorer coming off the bench, he's leaning heavily on our starters, and that's why it's imperative the Knicks get somebody at the trade deadline, because if not, we're looking at a second round exit easily, because they're going to run out of gas, and that's what happened last year against Miami. By the time we got to Miami, we couldn't rotate. We couldn't get out on the 3-point shooters, and they got hot. And once they got hot, that was it. There was no turning back for that team. So, Tibbs has to figure it out. He has to figure it out. Again, I agree with you. I didn't understand the minutes for Brunson on tonight. I was very concerned about that because I felt, like you said, coming off a thigh contusion he had?
Yeah.
Coming off a thigh contusion, 37 minutes, that's a bit much.
Bishop LB is in the chat tonight. Hopefully he had a good Bible study tonight. I thought he was going to come on for a little bit. Good win tonight. But before we get into that, y'all do us a favor: like, share, tag, comment. We want to hear from you in the comment section, as we do. We want to interact with you for this little while on tonight. So chime in your thoughts on tonight's win, your thoughts on the last couple games since you last seen us. You know, and I get this, L. You know, ball players want to play, and that is there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's why there are coaches, and that's why coaches sometimes have to save the players from themselves.
Man, I'm telling you, we got to be in the spirit on tonight because I'm thinking it and you saying it, and I mean, because you're right. That's the coach's job is to save the player from themselves. That's why the coach is there. It's a great win. I'm not taking anything away from the win. We're all in agreement on that.
Yeah,
We're just looking at if we have to critique, and again, it's the minutes. Tibbs has to, that's his Achilles heel everywhere he's gone. Uh, he's pushed the starters or his star players too much in the dog days of winter. These are the dog days. And I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get us at least to 10 games over. And yes, we can achieve that. I know that's what he's trying to do. I know that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get us at least 10 games over 500. But do it within the flow of the roster. Do it within the
absolutely.
flow of the team. Don't
The league lets you carry
yeah,
15 guys for a reason.
for a reason. And we gotta stop laying, even on Randall too. We gotta stop putting him out there for so many minutes. So I'm hoping that Tibbs will we hope he'll make the adjustment. That's what I'm hoping for.
It also I feel like it also stunts the growth of your players that have the potential to break out and take that next step. Because if you see that there is potential in Deuce McBride, granted, no, he's not Jalen Brunson. But he will never get to that Jalen Brunson level unless you allow him to be out there in those moments, and not just when Brunson is hurt, but you got to allow him to play through those lulls. He's got to be able to play through bad decisions. He's got to play through poor rotations. You can't yank him every time. You don't get better by yanking him. He doesn't take that leap and get to the next level. Emmanuel quickly took that leap because Jalen Brunson was out for several games last year, and he had to start him. And so then Emmanuel quickly immediately jumped into that. His first game starting, he put up 31. Like, Emmanuel quickly seized that opportunity so that, yeah, when he went back to the bench, he had proven that he could be trusted going forward. You never know if you can trust these guys if you're not going to play them.
And tonight was the game to do it against the
Yeah.
Houston Rockets. I
At
mean,
home against Houston with
yes,
Washington coming. These are two games where we need to look at Malachi Flynn. We need to
yes.
look at Precious Achua.
Come on.
We need to see these guys now. These are the games. No, you're not going to do it against Milwaukee. You're not going to do it against Boston. But against the teams that are number one, Houston, who's not even in your conference, and number two, against Washington, who's at the bottom of your conference. Not that you're playing around with it, but at the same time, that's the development time. That's the time to get these guys real playing time and say, okay, this is your game to win or lose. I need you to go out here and show me why you should get more minutes in those big games.
Yeah, I mean, this is the time. I mean, to go out there and let them see what they can do. And like you said, you can't keep yanking Deuce McBride because right now, Deuce is to me is either him and Grimes coming off that bench.
Those are your scorers.
Those are your scorers. Those are your main primary scorers coming off the bench. You got to show Deuce, hey, okay, I'm not going to yank you because you missed 3 shots. You got to give him a chance to gain his confidence. And I just think Tibbs doesn't do a good job with that. He always ready to pull him. If it's not Brunson or Randall or Ananobi, he's pulling you. Hardenstein, he don't run plays for Hardenstein. Hardenstein gets the garbage off the glass and puts it back in. But if you're not one of those 3 players, Tibbs doesn't give you the opportunity. And I just think you're right. He needs to let Deuce grow. Tonight was one of those games again. We're talking about the Houston Rockets. Let the guy play.
Right. That's a young team. They're not going anywhere this year. You've got to let the guy play in that moment. Hey, my cousin, Overseer Chris Burton, what's going on, cuz? You good? Good to see you on here. Again, do us a favor, like, share, tag, comment. We want to hear from you in the comments. Again, the Knicks win tonight, 109-94. It's been an up and down week for the New York Knicks. Today in the NBA, more trades happen. The Indiana Pacers make a trade with the Toronto Raptors, getting Pascal Siakam from the Toronto Raptors for Bruce Brown, for another player, I can't remember who, and for 2 first-round picks as well. Great trade for Indiana.
Excellent trade. When Halliburton comes back,
Woo-hoo-hoo.
listen, fellas, that's they remind me of the old Charlotte Hornets with Muggsy and those boys. For some reason, they just remind me of that. That run and gun style, up and down, high octane.
They're going to put up 145 points a game. Easy.
Yeah, and Siakam being able to have an actual team around him that's hungry. This is going to be very interesting. I think New York and Indiana are going to be battling the second half of the season for sure.
Absolutely. Siakam, interestingly enough, is top 3 in the NBA in fast break points. Tyrese Halliburton is the number 1 assist guy on fast breaks in the NBA. You put that together, they're just going to fly. That team's just going to fly, and it's going to be very, very scary. The only thing is, and I was actually discussing this with some of my colleagues at my job today, just talking when the trade came down. We were just talking about it, and one of the things that I said was it doesn't move the needle for them defensively. So I don't know how it translates in the postseason, especially when the top 3 teams in the conference have dominant bigs, and you got Boston has Porzingis. Milwaukee, pick your poison. They've got Giannis and quiet as it's kept. And I said it to one of my coworkers. He was like, "Well," he said, "Well, Embiid and Porzingis. I see who's the third." I said, "Brook Lopez." Y'all forget Brook Lopez is a dominant big. He
He's
doesn't
that
have
dude.
to be on this team, but
He's that dude. He's
yeah.
that dude.
And Brook Lopez, now that he's added the 3-point shot, can beat you from anywhere.
And I keep saying this, he's the all-time leading scorer for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I broke that stat out today at work. We were talking about it.
He's the all-time leading scorer. Hard to believe, but he's the all-time
leading scorer. So, it's going to be really important, but I think it's that's the thing, Miles Turner is good, but I just don't see where, it moves it makes them scarier. Yes, it's going to make them a tougher out.
They might trade him.
Yeah, I could see that. Because now they've got a glut of bigs. Yeah, you've got Siakam, you've got Bennett Mathurin, who is really a 4, who you have playing the 3 right now.
Yes.
You got Obi Toppin coming off your bench. That's a big team.
That's
a big front line. That is really a big front line.
It's a log jam, so I don't think everybody's going to get minutes. So somebody may get traded. I don't think Obi just got this, so Obi's probably going to be there to stay. But interestingly enough, I also say this about Indiana. I would love to see how this offense is going to work in the half court in the playoffs, because in the playoffs,
everything slows down.
You do certain things in the regular season that that teams are not going to let you do.
That's correct.
They're not going to let you do it in the postseason. And the Knicks have a very good half court offense.
Well, the Knicks offense it's a half court team. They're 27th in pace, but that works for them.
Yes, it works. And that half court, that pace in the playoffs, it slows down. You don't get the run and gun. You got to pick your spots. So I want to see how that's going to translate in the half court. That's the other thing. You were talking about their defense, but I'm talking about their offense. How is that offense going to translate when you're not able to run and gun in the playoffs?
Absolutely. And Indiana is not a great 3-point shooting team. So you're gonna have to make your threes in the playoffs, especially with it being a more half court game. The Knicks have built themselves to be a good playoff team in terms of how they're collectively built right now, in terms of them being a half-court offense, in terms of, having knockdown shooters like DiVincenzo, Obi Anunoby. That was another thing. How do you only play DiVincenzo 19 minutes? He's the best 3-point shooter on your team. Why are you only playing him 19 minutes?
And he was hot, by the way.
I I don't understand his coach's rotations sometimes. And
He doesn't understand it.
it's and I thought about that in the first half. I'm like, there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason to these substitution patterns, and I get it. He's still trying to figure it out as far as adding these new pieces in, because when you had quickly when you had Barrett, you knew what the substitution patterns were going to be. You knew that RJ was coming out about 6 minutes into the first quarter because he was going to start the second quarter with the bench unit. You knew that first 5.5 minutes of the second quarter, that's when Brunson and Randall were going to take their break. You knew you don't really see a rhyme or reason anymore, and I hope he's figuring it out. I hope he's figuring it out. Elder Teddy Simpson, I'll take the dub, but too much playing time for Brunson off the. We said that absolutely, Teddy. We're all on one accord with that. We're all in agreement. Way too much playing time for Brunson tonight. 37 minutes, shot 11 of 21. Really good game for him tonight. My favorite stat: 7 assists tonight for Jalen Brunson, which shows he's getting everybody else involved as well. He's just not being a volume scorer, but he's actually making good passes and getting his teammates involved. He's being what a good scoring lead guard is supposed to be. So I'm happy with the evolution of Jalen Brunson. Well, we're definitely happy with what we're seeing from Randall. I don't know if the light bulb has come on, and he's finally getting it. But I really think I agree with you, Bishop J. Mack. I think he is finally understanding the heaviness of the jersey, and now he's wearing it with that understanding. So we're seeing it in his play, and he's right. You've been booed, you've been changed. MVP. The garden is gonna make you, or it's gonna break you. I'm glad to see that it's making him right now, and he's become a better player. I still want to see the body language change a little bit more. There are still too many lapses for me as a player and as a former player who watches now. There's still too many defensive lapses for me. But because when Randall is engaged, he is probably a top 5 forward in this league. It's the moments where he's not engaged that drive me completely crazy. Those are the moments and he picks the worst times to not be engaged. That's what kills me about him. But I think I really saw something tonight that was really great out of him. I can't wait to get back Mitchell Robinson later on in the season, because I really want to see what this defense looks like in the playoffs with Mitch back. And I'm excited about it. But tomorrow night, Knicks have another game with the Washington Wizards. It should be a win. The Knicks, interestingly enough, 19-1 now. With a lead going into the fourth quarter, they should be 20-0. But 19-1 with the lead going into the fourth quarter. 17-1 now against teams with losing records, because technically they were Houston was 19-20 coming into today's game, so they had a losing record. So now they're 17-1. So they're beating the teams that they're supposed to beat, which is great. Now it's about taking that next step and consistently beating the teams in the upper echelon. That's when I will agree with Perkins and be ready to jump out the window and say, okay, the Knicks are absolutely ready to take this next step. Those are the teams. Like I don't worry about games like tonight. I'm not worried about tomorrow's game against Washington unless they just come out unprepared, which we know Tibbs is not going to let them come out unprepared. But it's just going to be interesting to see, especially now as we flip into the second half of the season. Now we played the first 41. Tomorrow's game 1 of 41. And we'll see what happens going on, if they can match that or even do a little bit better. Any predictions for the final 41 games? And y'all gotta watch and put your predictions. Knicks record for the final 41 games of this season. Put what you think the Knicks record is going to be for the final 41 games of the season. Remember, they got more home games than road games coming up. They've already played Milwaukee 4 times. They've only got one more game against them. They've got 2 more games against Boston. They've got one more West Coast trip, but it's against the lesser teams in the West Coast. So what do you think? What do you think, J-Mac?
Ooh, that's tough. I think they'll be above 500 for sure. I'm not going to go anything crazy. Let's see. You said 41. So we're looking at, I'll say they'll get about well they're predicting that they're gonna get the 48 wins. So in order for them to get the 48, they've got to get 27 more wins.
To get to 40, no, they need 24 more.
They need 24
They,
more.
they would need to go 24-17 in the second half.
So if they go 24, I think that's a safe number. I'll pick that. I'll pick 24-17.
Bucks, yes. We're gonna get to the scoreboard in a minute, Ted. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Cavaliers put it on the Bucks tonight, and
Yes,
I want
they
to
were
talk
up big.
about
They
the
were up big at
unevenness
the
of the
half.
Bucks. Yeah,
They
I
were
want
up
to
big
talk.
at the half.
The Bucks can be had, but I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes before we get out of here. Bishop Doug Woodall thinks that the Knicks can be a 50-win team this year. So what are you saying, Doug? The 24 wins, you think they're going to get 20? They're going to go 26-15 the rest of the way? That'll get them to 50-32 for the season. You think they're going to? Is that your number? He's saying with that schedule, the Knicks could go 26-15. You know, you're right. I don't disagree with you at all. Provided all things being equal, Knicks remain healthy, and the other teams continue down their road. The Knicks have had more back-to-backs than anybody this year, which we're not going to see as many in the second half. They're not going to be on the road as much in the second half of the season. So I could see the Knicks being a 50-win team. I know Vegas had them at 45 to start the year. The number was 45 for the
Yeah,
Knicks.
that's why I went with the 48 because I give them a three win differential. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, that's why I said the 48 because I remember seeing that stat from Vegas. Vegas usually they not wrong too often. Well, lately here with the NFL, but we're
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute as well. We're gonna get that in the
but
second half hour of the show.
but
But yeah,
usually Vegas is pretty solid. So I'll say I'll say the over 48, over the
okay.
45. I'll give them over. I don't know if they'll quite get to 50. I would love it if they did, but I'll say a solid 48.
I think it's necessary in order to get into the top three. They're gonna need to go on a ridiculous run and get to anywhere between 50 to 55 wins. I don't know if they can do that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't. That's why I'm saying I'll take the under when it comes to 50. I'll take the over 45.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I've got us between 48 and 50 myself.
yeah,
I'm settling at about 49. I'm not
yeah.
quite ready to say just because the way they've been uneven this year. And about 41 games, your identity is your identity. Do I think that the thing is, we all know that Tibbs teams tend to get stronger as the year go along, and the Knicks have not had their sustained run of 8 or 9 game winning streak yet.
We just
So
had that 1 5 game win streak.
right.
Yeah,
So there's been a 5 game, there's been a 4 game, there's been a couple of 3 game winning streaks. The great thing is they haven't lost more than 3 in a row, but the other side of that is they have not won more than 5 in a row. But Tibbs teams traditionally, right around this time of the year, will get on a nice 7 or 8 game run to give themselves some cushion. It's been indicative of Tibbs teams back since his days in Chicago. So if the Knicks can go on that kind of a run, they got an outside shot at 50. They've got an outside shot at 50 because
if we could get 10 games over, I'll be happy right now.
at this point, that's just the key.
Yeah, if we can get to 10 games over, yeah, we got a shot. We definitely got a shot. But I love I like what I'm seeing. Josh Hart off the bench was phenomenal tonight. I want to make sure I mention him. I think he had 10 and 14, 10 and 13, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was great. And Hartenstein, what can we say? Blockenstein, what can we say?
He has been such a great fill-in for Mitchell Robinson. He has been such a pleasant surprise. I know he was serviceable as a backup. I liked the pickup when we got him. I liked the pickup because, quite honestly, he was a stretch 5 in LA when he played for the Clippers, and I thought they used him more that way here, which they really haven't. They have not really given him a chance to show that Hardenstein can shoot, but Tibbs just doesn't let him.
he just has him playing that rotation five spot
Mhm.
where he's just gotten grabbing the boards and kicking out and playing defense. But yes, when he was before he got here, Hartenstein was shooting a mid range.
And the three and the corner three.
Yeah, yeah, but he
And
won't give him the opportunity. So
yeah, yeah, I'd like to see them in, because especially in games where where you're playing against teams with a dominant big, you got to make them play defense. You got to make Embiid play defense. You got to make Giannis or Brook Lopez have to come out and play defense. Not because, I mean, obviously Brook Lopez is an elite rim protector, but he's blocking shots of smaller players. If you make him come out and have to guard his position, that changes the landscape, because that now gives your guards driving lanes, because Brook Lopez has to guard Hartenstein out on the perimeter. You've got to utilize that to your advantage. I'd really like to see them use him a little bit more, especially when you have Josh Hart on the floor, who is an elite rebounder as well. So if Josh Hart is crashing the boards because you're swinging it out to the wing and Hartenstein is there to make that corner three or to take that corner three, you're not losing anything rebounding wise, because Josh Hart can get you the offensive rebound. Doug Woodall says they're still getting used to the new pieces. Imagine when they do and Mitch comes back. Yeah, yes, there is still some growing pains. Again, that the way when that trade took place, obviously there has not been a whole lot of practice time. OG is still learning on the fly. I'm hoping that the reason why he's not using Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn as much is because they're still learning the offense and the defensive schemes. Because I would hate to think that he just doesn't trust them. But with OG is just a basketball player. So you can plug him into any lineup and he's going to give you what he gives you. Again, unlike RJ, he does not need to be the focus or the focal point in order to put up numbers, as you see on a nightly basis. OG will get you'll look up, and OG will have a quiet 17 points, but it was an important 17 points. He had a quiet 15 points tonight, but that spurt he had in the third quarter, which finally turned the tide of the game, was an important spurt, that 8-point spurt there that he had. So, OG is just a basketball player. I'd like to see him get Precious Achiuwa a little bit more involved. He can hit that corner three, so you got to use that as well. You've got to use these weapons. Malachi Flynn has shown that he has a steady hand, and he's got nice handles that can get to the rim pretty much when he needs to. You got to use these guys. You've absolutely got to use these guys. But I do agree. I want to see this defense when Mitchell Robinson comes back. They're going to be scary in the playoffs if Mitch is healthy. If Mitch is healthy, they're gonna be a scary defensive team in the playoffs, which is what's gonna be necessary. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that coming forward. Around the league, real quick on the scoreboard tonight: Pelicans over the Hornets, 132-112. Raptors win tonight. Raptors gave the Heat some work in the wake of the trade tonight. 121-97. We got to check on our boys tonight.
Yeah, quickly.
RJ Barrett,
great games tonight.
RJ Barrett, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists tonight. Emmanuel Quickly, 17 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds tonight. These guys are thriving out there in Toronto. I'm so happy for those guys. I need them to be horrible on Saturday, but
yeah, that's gonna be something.
I'm still trying to figure out how I can get into this game, and everybody knows it because the aftermarket tickets are ridiculous.
Yeah, they went up. They went through the roof.
Yeah.
Remember, we were talking about this last week, and we were like, "Oh,
yeah.
The tickets are da da da." Now, as we've gotten closer to that game, yeah, they've gone through the roof.
And Toronto has been really good. They've been really good. Toronto's been really good. Obviously, they're not going to turn it around this year, but they've got some good building blocks for the future. Toronto's going to be scary in a year or two. With that,
and they can sneak up on you, and the thing about it, can sneak up on you on any given night. So
absolutely,
can't take them for granted. Even though Siakam's no longer there, you still can't take them for granted. They still got what's his name? What's the guy name?
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. They still got Scotty. So.
They still got Scotty Barnes. But they're building they're building around their young pieces. Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, and RJ Barrett. They're building around those young pieces. RJ looks more comfortable because he is the man now. He is essentially the number 2 option on this team after Scotty Barnes, and they've got a solid point guard in Emmanuel Quickly, who is I love him. I love the kid, and he is missed. And just before anybody says anything crazy, they beat a Miami Heat team that had their entire starting lineup intact tonight.
Oh yeah.
Bam played, Tyler Hero played, Jimmy Butler played.
Yeah, they gave him some
And-
work tonight. They were
and-
up by 30 at the half, I think.
Yeah, Toronto gave them that work tonight. So Toronto wins tonight at home. Cavaliers over the Bucks, 135-95. Somebody mentioned something on TikTok the other day after Dame hit that game-winning 3 the other day. They noticed how Brook Lopez didn't celebrate with the team, and they were wondering what that was about, because it seemed like when Dame came down and took that shot, Brook was calling for the ball. Doug wants us to move on. The Heat got beat tonight, Doug.
No, they got cooked. They got cooked. They got cooked tonight. They ain't get beat. They got cooked tonight.
He said, Lord, if you love your son, keep the Knicks away from my Heat. Yeah, I'm glad you realize it. The Knicks are not the team that the Miami Heat want to see in the playoffs this year. Not this year. Not this year.
Nobody want to see New York. Nobody want to see it.
Not at all. Celtics over the Spurs tonight, 117-98.
Not a surprise there.
Hawks beat the Magic 106-104. Timberwolves over the Pistons. The Pistons are just in bad shape. I feel bad for Monty Williams.
I wonder if they're gonna bring him back. I know they brought him in as a rebuild, but oof.
I mean, he has more talent on this team than the record is indicating. So I'm with you. I'm kind of questioning, like, why are they this bad? Ime Udoka is going through the same thing in Houston, and Houston is decent. It's both situations are rebuilds. Nobody expected Detroit to be this bad.
I saw something on the feed today that it's possibility that Alec Burks may be available.
I'm sure Tibbs would welcome that in a heartbeat.
And that's what they're saying, that Tibbs is, if they cut him, they're talking about cutting him, like giving him the buyout.
Well, the Knicks have an open roster spot,
and they're saying Tibbs is that the Knicks are probably going to scoop him up but they said signs are pointing to the fact that they're going to probably part ways with Alec Burks.
It makes sense.
And I was an Alex Burks fan when he
Same here. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Solid guard who can get a bucket. Good high IQ guy, good defender, can hit the corner 3, can get his own shot. I think he would fit in very well with this second unit and make things a little easier on Deuce.
Imagine him and Grimes in that second unit. That would be great.
Oh yeah,
him,
absolutely.
Grimes and Deuce. Yeah. That would be yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Nets and Trailblazers underway in the second quarter from Portland. Trailblazers lead by 1, 10-22 to go in the fourth quarter in L.A. Lakers lead the Mavericks 105-82.
Don't know if there's any truth to this, but I don't know if it's true, but I saw today that they said Anthony Davis is requesting a trade. I don't know how true that is.
I have not heard that. I'll do some research on it. By tomorrow night's game, we'll have some more information on that.
I hope, boy, wouldn't that be something?
the superstar we get is Anthony Davis. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. But I don't know if he's built for New York, though.
Listen,
I don't know if
it's worth a try at this point, man. It's worth a try. If we're not gonna get Embiid, it's worth a try.
Yeah, I really did. I think Embiid is a pipe dream at this point for us.
I don't want him anyway. I just think
I agree with you.
Yeah, I've never been an Embiid fan like that. I think now the other night when he played last night he played against Jokic, he did very well.
Hendrickson, cut your nonsense tonight. One more win and I'm coming home.
Whatever.
I need L here. He needs to see this.
Whatever.
Well,
one more win and he coming home.
We're going to hold you to that. They play tomorrow night. So be by your phone tomorrow night, because if we win tomorrow night, I'm bringing you on the show so you can redeclare your allegiance.
That's right. We're gonna put you under the spotlight.
We gonna put you right on the spotlight, Hendrickson. So be ready tomorrow night, sir.
Yeah,
Be,
he see them he know them Celtics ain't going nowhere.
I mean, they did win again tonight.
They not going nowhere. They played against Wembenyama. Come on.
He says he wants to be reinstated.
Oh, I know he do. No, you need a letter. You gotta be. You need a letter.
You need a letter of recommendation.
That's why he need a letter. That's how it's three ways. It's 3 ways into the Baptist church: baptism, wear a letter, right here to fellowship. You can't get the right here to fellowship.
Yeah, you left us.
That's right. You got to get a letter.
You
already
left,
been baptized, so
right. So and you left without informing the leadership. So
you got to come back with a letter.
But nah, I promise you tomorrow, Jay. If the Knicks win tomorrow night, that link will be in your box.
Oh, they winning.
And you better come on.
You know we ain't ready to fire them tomorrow. You know that. they beating them Wizards tomorrow. I can guarantee that.
He said maybe he'll come under watch care.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is 21st century church. We don't really do watch care like that no more.
Oh man, please. They're just joining and just leaving. You don't see them no more.
No more, right? They don't even tell you they leaving. They just bounce.
That's like you just found out. You go one day. You
go preach to somebody else's church and they sitting up in there in the pews.
That's right.
That's how you know they left.
Live service and they sitting up in somebody else's church.
Yep. Can't really trust y'all yet. What?
Listen, you could trust us better than them Boston
Celtics. Really. I'm still trying to figure out why Jaylen Brown got $300 million. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get it. He's the highest paid guy in the league. He's making more than Jason Tatum.
And he's not even the number 1 option on his team. He's not even the number 2 option on his team. He is the 3rd option in Boston behind Tatum and Porzingis.
No one has been able to answer that question to this day. Why he got the money he got. No one has been able to answer that question.
I have no idea what Brad Stevens was thinking. But
gotta love them Celtics.
Gotta love those Celtics. Shifting gears now to the NFL. It is divisional weekend after a wild card weekend, a super wild card weekend as they now call it, that was very, very interesting.
That was very wild.
It was a super wild card weekend. The Houston Texans beat the Cleveland Browns. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Dolphins. Those are the kind of games we expected. But where's Jesse Moore? The Dallas Cowboys got cooked.
Well, before we get to that, just look at how ironic that Texas and Cleveland game was. The former quarterback of the Texans plays for the Cleveland Browns. The Texans did turn around and beat the Browns. And C.J. Stroud, who's born again, by the way, who's a born-again Christian.
Yes, he is.
Man, what can you say about this guy, man? This guy is dealing. And that's going to be a great game this weekend.
It is. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to it, to watching some of it as much as I possibly can. I think the Houston Texans have the ability. The Houston Texans are a win away from the AFC Conference Championship game. I didn't see that coming. Not with a rookie quarterback.
They're going to give Baltimore a run for their money. It's going to be a competitive game.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yes, C.J. Stroud is not going to just lay down for these guys.
No, not at all.
The Dolphins, listen, what can we say? A warm weather team going up to
they went into Kansas City.
-4 degrees.
-4 degrees, and it was a playoff tested team in Andy Reid's group. And yeah.
At home.
The Dolphins will be back, but they got their taste this year. They're in a good place. Tyreek Hill has been good, but they still got a ways to go.
They got to win the division.
Yeah, they have to
because they can't play in cold weather.
No, They need to win the division.
They have to.
They've got to get the 2 seed. They have to.
If they don't win a division, Bishop, they're not going. This is what's going to be every year because they can't. And Tua can't throw the ball in the cold.
No, he cannot. I agree. He can barely throw the ball when it's warm, but that's another conversation.
Yes.
Listen, Tua is
Yes.
Tua reminds me of what was the Jet quarterback we had with the weak arm? What was his name?
Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington. He reminds me a lot of Chad. He's a left-handed Chad Pennington. He is a left-handed Chad Pennington.
Yeah,
What saved Chad was his accuracy, but he couldn't throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, we couldn't throw the deep ball. No.
And Tua reminds me a lot of that Chad Pennington. How about those Detroit Lions?
Oh my goodness, man! I was so happy for them. I was so happy, and that again, you had the former quarterback of the Rams, quarterback in the Lions, and the former Lions quarterback in the Rams playing in Detroit. That was again. Listen, this is why the NFL is king. This is why you get these matchups. I mean, this is why the NFL makes the money that they make.
Absolutely.
I saw a lot of people, and I know we're gonna get to the Cowboy game. I saw a lot of people complaining about the Dolphins Chief game being streamed, and I let them know you might as well get ready because this is where it's going.
This is all the signs point to it. You got to get on board with it. Streaming is where it's at, and these leagues are going to take the money from the streaming services. Wait till the NBA goes fully streamed. Listen,
the NBA is. I was about to say the NBA is next.
And I'll take it a step further because I bought my kids the MetaQuest VR set for Christmas, and I put it on. And one of the things that I was setting it up, and one of the things I saw they had is this thing called X Stadium. You can literally sit courtside at an NBA game.
I was going to say
streaming it, and I put it on, and I was watching a little bit of because they were showing highlights from because it's certain games, and one of the games was Knicks Thunder. So I said, well, let me see the highlights from this game. It's literally like you're sitting on the floor in Celebrity Row. This is where it's going.
Yeah, and I saw it. They've been doing that with the VR. About going into NBA games and being able to go courtside.
But now it's a part of the NBA League Pass package.
Now it's
if you have the MetaQuest.
Now it's a part of the package. And I'm telling you, can you imagine sitting at the 50-yard line in the Super Bowl?
Right. Right. From the comfort of your home. And all you had to do was pay like a $29.99 premium.
Listen, it's going to happen.
That's where it's going.
WWE is getting ready to do it. Better I'm telling you,
trust me, if they do that in time for WrestleMania, then I don't have to go to Philly.
Listen, man, listen.
Because I'm trying to go to everybody I look for tickets. I'm like, oh, y'all are ridiculous. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Those prices are crazy because I really want to go to Philly this year, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm believing God.
I know we don't talk about wrestling. We pretty much, but I'm just going to put this in there. I just hope that they don't do Rock Roman because we already know that Roman is going to beat The Rock. I want a little bit more intrigue at WrestleMania, So
Bubba Ray Dudley, well now known as Bully Ray. He's on the Busted Open podcast.
Yes.
I was listening to him today, talking with Dave LaGreca and with Mark Henry, and he's pitching the idea. He thinks they should do a triple threat at WrestleMania. So he says the way they should set it up is they should get the belt off of Roman at Elimination Chamber in Australia and put it on The Rock then go to WrestleMania and you've got Roman we got Roman invoking his rematch clause, but Cody wins the Rumble. So now you got a triple threat against The Rock for the Universal Championship on night 2 of WrestleMania. You have Cody pin The Rock, get the belt off The Rock at WrestleMania.
It protects Roman, keeps Roman strong.
But it also gives him, because you've got now Cody, you've got Roman and Randy, whom Cody has never pinned, and now you've got two built-in opponents leading into SummerSlam, and you can just pick or choose which one is going to go up against Cody at SummerSlam. I'm like, you know what, that's not a bad idea.
And you can extend past SummerSlam if you pick Randy.
Yeah,
You can stretch that story out to Survivor Series.
absolutely.
You can stretch it out and do a War Games if you want,
Yep.
where Randy gets his team, Cody gets his team. You could go up now. The only wild card, I know we talking about wrestling, but the only wild card is Seth healthy?
We got to find that out. And they haven't announced anything yet. But for those of you who do watch wrestling, if you missed Monday Night Raw, Seth was injured in his match on Monday Night Raw. We don't know how serious it is yet. It appears to be a leg injury. We don't
They're saying
know.
it's his knee.
Yeah. So we don't know what the extent of it is, or if it's going to be something that's going to keep him out of Mania, which I would hate, because I was looking forward to him and CM Punk at Mania.
Everybody was looking forward to that. That was a strong night one main event.
Yes.
Strong.
Yes.
Strong. I mean, listen, if you had that main event,
Teddy Jinder is not getting the title, Ted.
Who said that? What he said?
Ted Simpson said Jinder Mahal's getting the title. Absolutely not.
No, it's hinder on gender. It's hinder on gender.
Hinder on gender, that's right.
But yeah, so I think like you said, with that virtual, that this artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
the streaming, it's gonna. I mean, everybody's gonna go to stream wrestling, everybody, soccer, hockey,
And it's crazy because everybody's in negotiations right now. The NBA is in their talks, NFL's
even
in theirs,
WWE,
and WWE is
Raw,
in theirs.
Raw could be streaming.
Yeah, because Warner Discovery is looking to pick it up, which means it could end up on Max.
There's so much money out there to be made, man.
It could end up on Bleacher Report on their app. Like there are because they're already covering WWE, and I do think though that if and Triple H is just dirty enough to do it, him and Tony Khan, they know exactly what they're doing. I think they want Warner Discovery because it's going to put AEW out of business.
Yes, Triple H is going to do it just because they're going to. If they get WWE, they're cutting AEW.
Yep, they have to because but WWE is going to put it in the contract. Like, okay, if
they got to be exclusive.
That's it.
And guess what? They're the worldwide leader. They're the juggernaut. Okay, you don't want us? Okay.
And there's also this idea as well that ESPN could get involved as well.
Which is Disney.
Yeah. They've got a boatload of money too.
Disney's been flirting with WWE for years.
The only reason why I could potentially see Triple H not taking Disney money is because you see slowly but surely they're moving back toward Attitude Era type of programming. And
yeah, but you know what? They made a good point. On the Disney app, it's not just PG anymore.
That's
they
true.
got rated. Bully Ray brought that up the other day.
That's very true.
So that might not even stop them now.
That you're right.
Money talks. Money talks.
Absolutely. And when you've got something like, and Hollywood, especially with the WWE, Hollywood is and these big giant studios and companies are seeing that the WWE is strike proof. So you had this 4-month-long writer's strike where there was no original television programming, and the WWE ratings went up because
they don't have a union.
Right, and so that's your original programming. USA saw a rating spike in WWE. Fox saw a rating spike for SmackDown because this was the only original programming other than reality shows that was on television for 4 months. So they're backing up the truck for WWE because they're like, if these guys ever go on strike again, we're good.
Listen, I told somebody this the other day. I said the NFL has already been they've been doing it every Thursday. What are you talking about? Why are you getting mad now because they put a playoff game? Listen, they've been on Amazon for the whole season. They've been on Amazon every Thursday night. If you're watching a Thursday night game, most of the time you're looking at it on the Amazon app.
But you remember there was outrage when the NBA went from the NBA on NBC and then TNT started getting the rights and they went to cable. There was outrage initially, but then everybody got on board and got TNT. You were going to have to.
Yeah.
When it went from ABC to ESPN. Now, granted, in ABC's case, it's a little easier because Disney owns all of that. So they can do ABC, ESPN. They can simulcast, which is brilliant. Which is what they're doing. They'll simulcast it across all three, and you can watch the same game. And like I said, now they got the X Stadium thing with the NBA League Pass, which allows you to watch it in virtual reality, sitting literally at the half court line in the first row.
Listen, Disney been doing this for years with Smoke and Mirrors. They used to have Buena Vista Productions, that was Disney.
Yep.
And then with the movies, whenever they would do rated R movies or anything
It was either Hollywood Pictures or Buena Vista Pictures,
or Touchstone.
or
Yeah,
Touchstone. Yes.
Touchstone was Disney.
Yep.
And a lot of
All
people
three
didn't
of them.
know
Yep.
that.
Yep.
That was Disney. So
Very true.
listen, Disney been doing this. They've been hiding their hand for a long time. You know, one thing I didn't know too, and a lot of people don't realize, people say, "Oh, I can't stand Fox News. I can't stand Fox." Well, guess what, Bishop? We've been a lot
Oh,
of
I
our
know.
folks been watching Tubi,
Tubi owned by Fox.
owned by Fox, and that's why they keep putting up black content. Black
Mhm.
content. They getting us over there because a lot of us don't know that Tubi is owned by Fox.
And
So
that's where the money is.
you're funding Fox News when you watch Tubi, when you get the Tubi app.
You are funding the right wing.
You're funding them.
Yep.
So if
So
you're funding Donald Trump, if for all you non-Trumpsters, you're funding them.
yep. Absolutely true.
Am I wrong, Bishop?
No,
Please
you are
help me.
absolutely right.
All
You are
right.
absolutely right. Pastor David Wright joins us for the last few minutes of the show.
Yeah,
Where you
just for
been,
a few
Dave?
minutes.
Where you been?
Man, my wife had me working with these cakes and stuff.
Oh
I
well,
ain't even,
listen. You got to do that. That's the money maker. So you got to do
oh
that.
my God, yes.
You got to do that. Absolutely.
Pastor Dave, my brother, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good out here in this cold New Jersey. It's 14 degrees out here.
Woo, God.
Ooh, listen. I'm dying in Virginia. It's in the 30s. I'm like, why is it so cold?
It's-
I ain't used to this in Virginia. I'm
Yeah,
used to this in New York.
I gotta get me an oil delivery, man, because I'm like, I do not like cold weather, dog.
Yeah.
I gotta get me an
no,
oil
sir.
delivery.
Can't do
So
this
we were,
cold.
Pastor Dave, we were just talking about streaming and how all the major sports are getting ready to start going that way because people were upset Saturday about the Dolphin Chief game, and we were just talking about how Bishop was talking about how with the AI apparatus, it'll put you courtside with the NBA package. You can sit courtside watching an NBA game courtside from your living room.
Wow.
Yeah. I bought my kids a VR for Christmas, and I was telling Bishop how they've got this thing called X Stadium. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, what's this? I clicked into it, and if you partner it with NBA League Pass, they have certain NBA games throughout the season that you can watch on your VR from courtside. So it's like you sitting next to Spike. So this is the way of the world now, and people have to get on board. This is where it's going.
They ain't no have to. They going to.
And it's part of
Listen,
the NBA League Pass package now. Like literally, if you buy NBA League Pass and you tell them you have a MetaQuest VR, they're gonna send you the list of games, and you can watch those games from
And you know what it's going to
your
do?
VR courtside.
That's raising the salaries of the NBA players because this new agreement coming,
Oh yeah,
it's beyond a TV deal now.
oh yeah,
It's,
streaming rights, VR rights, like this.
artificial intelligence is
The,
here to stay, brother.
the money is gonna be insane now. I see
wow.
the salary cap going up again. Salary cap's gonna go up again with this new collective bargaining agreement. It's going.
And that
It's gonna
and
have to
that's
because
how
the money is crazy.
Jalen Brown can get 60 million a year.
We were
We were
just
just
talking
talking about
about
that.
him.
Yeah, just talking about that because we try to understand why he got that bag because he has not proven. Like I say, he's not worth it. He has not proven to be worth it yet in year 2 of this contract. He is still not
Right.
proven that he's worth it. That he's worth that. He's not
Yeah,
even the best player on his team to be the highest paid player in the NBA.
listen, when that Super Bowl, we were talking about how eventually you're gonna be able to do the Super Bowl from the 50-yard line in the stadium with the VR. They're gonna make that happen. You're gonna be watching the Super Bowl VR 50-yard line,
Mm-hmm.
mid
It,
stadium.
it's gonna happen. It,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. Hey, I put that VR on and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm really watching this Knicks game from half court,
Half court
Sitting next to
courtside,
Spike
man.
Lee.
on in the first row, like literally, like and the way they have that camera set up, like it's set up, that camera is set up on the scorer's table actually. So like you're watching you can hear the coaches in the huddle. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I got to
Like,
get that. If I
I'm
might not go to a game if I get that in my house.
listen. I'm
well,
I'm, I'm
they're
telling you, I'm
smart
gonna
right
get it.
now.
I'm getting it.
They're smart right now because they're not making every game available. It's just certain games right
But
now.
but guess what? You know, eventually they're gonna do it because it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
gonna
more.
be
They're
every
gonna
game.
charge you more money to get the package.
Yep,
This
yep.
just the test. This is to test it out. That's all it is.
Wow.
And this is the setup. It's just like with drugs because they made it a part of the NBA League Pass. They made it a part of the package right now. So you're like, oh, it's free right now because I got NBA League Pass. So
Right.
this is great. And once they get it okay, this is gonna be an additional $59.99 a year.
And
That's
once
what's
you
gonna
get
Yo,
used
happen.
to it,
anybody
you're
know
gonna.
the numbers that Dolphins game got on Peacock?
I can find out right now.
I think they made a killing
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, because a lot of people had to go and buy the app that day to watch the game.
right then and there.
They make you do the 7-day trial, but how many people
Most
canceled
people
it after
don't.
they was done?
No, you forget you got it.
See, I already had Peacock because I watched WWE, so I already had it. But
Right. Same here.
yeah, but there was a lot of people that didn't have it
I
and they
had it, but
signed
I
up.
got rid of it. I only had it so I could watch the Fresh Prince thing,
Right.
Bel
Bel Air,
Air.
and then I kicked it off. But then
Yeah.
I paid $5.99 to get it back just for that game.
I'm telling you.
23 million.
23.
23 million
Wow.
for a playoff game that was streamed.
Woo.
Yep.
It's coming, man. Get ready.
A wild card game.
Teddy said he got Peacock for WWE and Twisted Metal.
That's it. But listen, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
All leagues, NBA, the NFL is already a $9 billion. They was a $9 billion juggernaut 2 years ago.
Yep.
I forgot what they said they were, what they gonna be worth at the end of this year.
Whew.
They was worth $9 billion. Just look at this. Vince McMahon just sold the WWE for $9.3 billion, and that's
Wow.
that's wrestling. He just sold it to them and the UFC combined.
to create Endeavor. Yep.
Endeavor just bought them for $9.3 billion.
Yep.
So you know the NFL is going to be worth twice that.
Yep. And that's right, Ted. Max, because they're part of that Warner Discovery Network with TNT. Yeah, they're streaming NBA games on their app.
I'm telling you, it's
through
coming.
their Bleacher because Warner Discovery also owns Bleacher Report.
And people was upset Saturday. You should have saw them all down the timeline. I'm not doing it. I'm going to boycott. Okay, you
Don't
for
matter.
They don't care. Somebody
They don't
gonna
care
do
about
it.
no boycott.
23 million.
The NFL don't care about what you do. They gonna get their numbers.
The NFL
Listen.
got their numbers, and they looked at Peacock and said, "So we doing this again next year?"
The NFL going to keep rolling. It
Yep.
don't matter what you do.
Like,
listen,
so 2 games next year. that's
listen,
what it
last
was.
year, everybody was boycotting the NFL when all that stuff was going on.
With Colin Kaepernick and all that.
I bet you ain't heard no more about no boycott since, have you?
And you won't.
Because the NFL juggernaut keeps rolling on.
And it's going to. The shield is impenetrable.
Listen, they playing games overseas in a regular season, not exhibition.
Right. No, regular season games in Europe, in other countries. Like
It counts in the standings.
Yes.
the revenue that the NFL and the NBA, the revenue these leagues are doing right now is just dumb at this point. So that's what's going to happen. So Okay, we're an hour in. We're gonna be getting out of here shortly. Davey, I gotta go here before we get out of here. First, well, two things. Number one, because I did ask Jay, we're officially at the midway point of the season, 41 games in. Final 41 games. What's the Knicks record second half of the season?
30-11.
Whoa. So you're saying we end up a 54 win team?
Yes. We're going to end up 54, maybe a 2 or 3 seed.
Okay. And then lastly, we got to talk about James Dolan.
Yeah, we didn't get into it.
We have to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. If you're a Knicks fan right now, for those of you who have not been following, allegations have come out that James Dolan is now being accused of sexual assault. In fact, from something that occurred in 2013, the woman is also accusing of James Dolan introducing her to Harvey Weinstein, who then sex trafficked her. Now, initially, Dolan's lawyers spoke confidently about the allegations being baseless, but what do you expect lawyers to do? He's supposed to. The more things that are starting to come out, it's not looking good for James Dolan. What you got to say about it, Dave?
Well, Cat Williams said that this
Oh
is the
God,
year.
not Cat Williams. We quoting Cat Williams?
Cat
Wait a minute.
Williams said this is the year of exposure. But on a serious note, if he's involved with anything Harvey Weinstein,
He's got to sell team.
then,
He has to.
then they're going to have to do him just like they did Donald Sterling.
Yes, yes. Even
Just
more
like they,
so. Even
yeah,
more so.
because um, if he's involved with that stuff, he's going to have to sell the team.
Because Donald Sterling was only guilty of making racial slurs, which is not good.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but it's not a
But it's not
crime.
illegal. It's
Right.
not a crime.
But it violated
If I
the NBA code of conduct.
right,
And that's what people don't understand.
right,
The code of conduct does not have anything to do with the law.
right,
It is the bylaws of the NBA.
right.
And the bylaws of the NBA are separate from a crime. You don't have to ever commit a crime, but if you break that code of conduct, they will make you sell.
I
Absolutely
think,
true. And
I
but that's what
think
we're
they got,
saying. If he committed a crime,
yeah,
or
he's done. He's done. They may take the team from him instead of
yeah,
letting them sell it.
yeah, the league
Listen,
can put it
And
in trust until
it
they
don't
find a
even have to
buyer.
be. It don't even have to be true. Remember, the NFL is just like that right now. The NFL, the players, it don't even have to be true, and they suspend you indefinitely until
yes,
they
Ask
find out.
Deshaun Watson.
It's just an accusation,
Yep.
and they put you. Listen, look at what don't forget what Major League Baseball did to George Steinbrenner. They suspended George Steinbrenner for code of conduct.
Yep. Like the
and
trial was
I
still going
think
on, and they had already suspended him. Yep.
Yes.
I think this is kind of working for us because many people say us we can't get a star because of
Of James
James
Dolan.
Dolan. So if
And
they suspend him for 2-3 years or take the team, we might get a Giannis.
listen, the NBA is tired of the Knicks not being able to get over the hump. We keep saying that the NBA is against the Knicks. No, they're not.
No.
They
The
need the
Knicks,
The
Knicks.
NBA needs the Knicks to be
yes,
good. They need the Knicks to be
and
good.
this is an original 8 team, an original 8 team. So this Dolan can't have this black eye over the Knicks. He's gonna have to be it can't he's got to be innocent without a shadow of a doubt for them not to take this team from him. It
And
can't it's not he's not gonna get it can't be a stone left unturned. He's gonna have to it can't be like, oh well maybe he did no. It's got to be he didn't do it at all.
Even
correct.
if he is innocent, they're gonna suspend him. I feel they're gonna Adam Silver gonna have to do something because when
He,
you did just the name Harvey Weinstein,
yeah,
Yes.
in the climate we live in, absolutely. Absolutely.
because we
Listen with the
went through
Me
that
Too.
Me Too movement, we went through that racism movement. Now this sex trafficking thing now. Ooh,
Listen, sex trafficking is big in Atlanta, man. It is when you get off the plane, they are making the announcement in the airport in Atlanta about illegal sex trafficking. It is big in Atlanta. It's big in the United States, especially with these immigrants coming over the border now.
Yeah,
It's
especially
just,
now.
and you know, and then New York is New York. We talking about Broadway. We talking about Wall Street. We talking about Hasidic Jews. We talking about Jews in Palestine. All this stuff going on. New York don't need this right now. They
No.
Right.
don't.
The last thing New York needs is a scandal. So yeah,
And I agree with you, Dave. I think it's working in our favor. I think it's listen. I want him out, and I
You've
we
think
been
we
wanting
we've
them out.
all wanted him out. We've
and
all
the,
wanted him out.
and I
So
think
I mean,
I think the NBA wants him out.
yeah, I mean, he stopped going to meetings from what I heard. He
Wow.
stopped communicating with the NBA board of governors. He's really, and he's like making statements about how they don't like him and all of this other stuff. The NBA doesn't want to deal with James
Look,
Dolan, his eccentric
Donald
self anymore.
Sterling made those comments in the privacy of his own home. He
Correct.
just happened to got recorded by his girlfriend, and they suspended him for making
Personal comments.
personal comments in his home that just happened to get on tape. And you think this dude connected to Harvey Weinstein? And what's this guy with the island? What's his name? What's the guy name?
Epstein.
Epstein.
If that name come up,
Oh, it's a, woo.
it don't look good right now. I'm telling you.
It doesn't look good at all. And if he's out, he's out. And
Yep,
we
I
will,
won't
and we
shed
will
a
throw
tear,
a
I'll tell you
parade
that.
for that.
I won't, Dave. I won't shed a tear.
And he was at Diddy party too.
He was a power bottom.
I don't know what bottom or top he was, but
Oh my God.
he was at
Not
one of them Diddy parties.
Stay out the Diddy parties. Jesus.
Listen, I'm not going to shed a tear. Davey, I'm sorry. You got me doing it. You know that normally be you. I'm up here. I must be getting sleepy.
We not. Dave, this question.
Bishop, I just asked the question, man.
We are not answering this question. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Our
I'm
viewers
gonna
don't want to
answer it.
know.
Teddy Simpson, what's going on with them? You know that ain't but 5 blocks from my church.
Sure enough, that's why he asked it. Teddy know.
They
That's why
What
he
he
asked
asked?
it.
What he
they
say?
about them tunnels down there under Eastern Parkway.
Oh,
The
yes.
Jews is digging tunnels over there.
Listen, them tunnels been down there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Them
Listen,
they
tunnels
got
been
a whole city down there.
Listen, these people are descendants of Holocaust survivors, and they vowed that they would never go through what they went through before. So that's why those tunnels are there and have been there. Those are escape routes.
Listen, they probably got them coming right out. Their headquarters is right there. The world headquarters
Yep.
is right there on
Right there on Eastern
Kingston
Parkway.
and Eastern Parkway.
Yep.
That is the world
World headquarters. Yep.
headquarters. That's why you always got cops out there 24/7.
24/7.
They're never not going to have cops there.
Yep.
So I'm not
I
surprised.
think them tunnels, they might have them tunnels leading to the Burl Donald Bridge and get on a boat and be on out of here.
They just might. It would not
I
surprise me.
want to know because you know what? It been quiet. They ain't said nothing else about it. We want to
They
know.
made the one report
Would
and
not
nobody
surprise me.
followed up. Yeah. You know they got tunnels underneath Disney World too,
Yep, that I do know. Yep.
They got tunnels underneath Disney World.
Yep.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
they've had those for years because they use them now for their cast members, so that way nobody ever because they want to. Disney's thing is about preserving the magic, so they want to make sure that you never see the characters without their stuff on or whatever.
And they can move them to anywhere in the park just like that.
Yeah.
Instead of having to walk through the crowd and bump and just
Disney is
Wow.
a well-oiled machine.
Disney got tunnels underneath Disney World, Doc.
Well, first of all, Disney World is a city.
It is.
It's literally a city.
That's what it is.
It's
its own little city.
It has its own zip code.
Got its own bus lines.
Own bus line.
And it really got its own airport because the MCO for Orlando Airport, Mickey Country.
Pretty much.
Right. The land of the mouse. That's what they call it.
I mean, Disney is. I mean, you see Lake Buena Vista. That's Disney World.
Yes.
And they got a little area down there called Celebration.
Yep.
That's owned by Disney
as well. Yep.
Celebration.
Like anytime you gotta get off of you think you're taking the monorail to one park only to get off the monorail and have to get on a bus to get you to the next park. That's ridiculous.
Disney
Now
World is
they
not
got-
great adventures.
They got
Not
cable
at all.
cars that lead you from their hotel to Magic Kingdom.
Yep. Monorails that run through the hotel.
Yeah.
Like it
I
stops on the first floor of the hotel.
I stayed in the Animal Kingdom Hotel one year, and it's the monorail take you right into the hotel.
Right to the hotel. Yep. Like
Yep.
Disney, that Lake Buena Vista is Disney World City, literally.
Wow.
Literally Disney World City.
So they got tunnels too.
That's why I don't know why Cruz is down there acting crazy, messing with them, trying to get them for
Not
a back
Cruz.
tax.
DeSantis.
DeSantis. Trying to mess with them as far as trying to get them to pay them back taxes. They said, okay, we got you.
That's why
You better leave them alone. He'll be sleeping with the fishes.
No, you didn't hear what they did. So basically, he was trying to take over that land down there,
Right.
not realizing that everybody who needs to vote on the board on that, Disney put them on the board. So he's like, oh, he's sticking out his chest. We beat Disney. Disney said, oh, we had a vote last night. Yeah, that's not gonna pass.
Wow.
Disney told him, no, it's not passing. No,
Disney runs Florida, man.
they do. Bottom line.
I don't even know why he trying to. Yeah, he don't like because they left. They left, but they run Florida. What you gonna do? They money been running Florida for years.
For years.
We got Universal Studios and all that.
Ain't Disney
is
World.
king. You can't stop that. Disney runs Florida. You
is
do
the
what
truth.
Disney says.
They even own the basketball team. Orlando who?
Magic.
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 You look at the original Magic logo with the stars coming out of that. Disney designed that.
That's Mickey Mouse.
They went to naming rights for the uniforms. Whose name is on the left breast? Disney. Like, what?
Listen,
Leave them
without
alone,
Disney,
DeSantis.
that state wouldn't be nothing, man. Financially, they wouldn't be nothing. That's why they don't have no state income tax.
I'm about to say
Because
Disney is the reason why there's no state income tax.
That's why. That's
Disney
why
is
there's
the
no
reason.
state income tax. Because Disney is there.
From Miami all the way to Jacksonville.
Yep.
Listen, all the way up to the Panhandle, man. Disney runs that state.
They sure do. They absolutely surely do.
It was dumb for him to even pick that fight.
Like the Florida, like as the governor of Florida, you don't know how good you got it. You have Disney, you have half of Major League Baseball there every spring.
Right.
Like, your state is printing money. What are you doing? You're printing money.
And we're not even talking about the tourists.
Right. We haven't even
We
gotten
haven't
to the
even
tourists
talked
yet.
about the
Yo.
tourists yet. We just
Disney
talking
and
about-
Major League Baseball finance Florida. That's it.
Yep. The Grapefruit League is down there every year.
Yep. Every year.
I think the Mets and the Yankees got a team in there. The Mets in
Yes.
Port St. Lucie.
And the Yankees are in Tampa.
Yeah.
Like-
The Mets of Port St.
Port St. Lucie, yep. Yankees are in Tampa, but you've got and every Major League Baseball team, half of them do their spring training in Florida, and everybody at least has a minor league team in Florida. Everybody.
Wow.
So, sports and entertainment are literally sustaining your economy.
He better leave it alone.
Leave them alone. Don't bother MLB. Don't bother Disney.
But
Let them have whatever they want.
if Dolan is if he is forced to sell, who's the buyers out there right now?
I hear Magic Johnson wants a piece of it.
Yeah,
They
Magic been
they
talking
talked
about
to
it for a
Magic.
while.
Magic said if there was one team that he would want an ownership stake in basketball, other than the Lakers, it would be the New York Knicks.
Oh my God.
But that's smart. And Magic is a brilliant businessman, so I would love him to have a piece of our team.
Ah, because Jordan was a great player too.
Well, see, Magic is
And
an owner who is a businessman. He's
But
gonna let the
Magic
basketball
has been a
people
GM
be back
before.
right, and he did a good job.
He did a good job as the GM out there.
Like he got out of there because Palinka got in Jeannie Buss's ear,
That's
and
right.
Magic was just like, "I'm not gonna fight for this position. I got too much money. I'm a billionaire. It's
that's
not fun no
true.
more."
Magic did get LeBron there, didn't he?
He got
It was,
LeBron.
But that's literally what Magic said. Magic said he quit because he's like, "I don't want to fight over this."
And LeBron got mad because he didn't tell LeBron he was leaving.
Yep. But it
LeBron
was
was upset.
Rob Palinka got in Jeannie Buss's ear, and he started butting heads with Magic, and Magic was like, "I don't need this." So he was like, "I'm done." Jeannie
if
was trying to
Magic
convince him
buys
to
the
stay.
if Magic buys the Knicks, because I don't know if they're going to split it up. Because Dolan owned the Rangers, the Liberty, the Knicks.
More than likely, if whoever's smart is going and Magic is smart, Magic's going to buy all three, and Magic is going to make sure that the Rangers and the Garden are a part of the deal, because again, he's a businessman. So can you imagine? I'm sure he's thinking what he could do if he has an arena at his disposal.
In the middle of Manhattan.
But let me tell you something. Don't rule out the possibility. Now, I think it's sacrilegious, but don't rule out the possibility that the Knicks wouldn't move over to Brooklyn if Dolan got a bug in his ear or whatever. Don't rule that out.
The devil is a liar.
They got an arena right across the river in Brooklyn. If he decided to take them out of the Garden, I mean, it's sacrilegious because you got on them banners up there. But we talking about James Dolan here. Dolan is petty.
And that's just it. And you're right about that, because if the league forces him to sell, he would only have to sell the Knicks.
Right. He doesn't have to give up. He doesn't have to let them use the Garden.
But
Right.
but remember, the NHL and the NBA, because Gary Bettman was an NBA executive under David Stern before he became the commissioner of the NHL. So he still has ties to the NBA. So I could see if the NBA sanctions Dolan, Gary Bettman's going to follow suit and probably have the NHL sanction him as well. I can see that happening, because if you notice, the NHL has followed suit with a lot of the things that the NBA has done in terms of competition, alignments, different things, because they're trying to stay relevant. That's what I found out. Gary Bettman used to work for David Stern in the NBA. So
that'll be good if he does that.
I think he does that.
That'll force him to have to keep them in the Garden.
Right. And
you have the Garden just sitting there doing nothing.
Yep.
The allure of the Garden is having the Knicks and the Rangers in there.
Absolutely
That's
true.
the whole allure of the Garden.
Absolutely true.
If you don't have the Knicks, if the Knicks go across the river to the Barclays,
Dolan ain't that petty. He's not that petty. He can't be.
No, but Magic Johnson is.
Magic would take him.
I think Magic would do it until he got his. Now, Magic would probably work on getting maybe a West Side arena built like at the Javits Center area. But until then, he would have them play right across the river in the Barclays until his arena was built.
I agree with that. Yes.
Woo.
And he would get and they would approve it too.
Yeah, because number one, because it's Magic, and number two, despite Dolan. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It ain't like that situation with the Jet Stadium. You know,
right.
It ain't like that. You talking about the Knicks. You talking about New York.
Teddy thinks Vince McMahon would buy the Knicks.
Listen, he got enough money.
Listen, he got the money. I just wouldn't want Vince trying to be working in the day-to-day of the franchise.
Yeah, he would definitely have to get a GM, please.
Listen, he can leave the group that we have in place. Like literally, like whoever buys the team would be coming into a situation with a leadership group in terms of president, GM that actually knows what it's doing. So it's really just buy the team and just work on the marketing piece as far as rebranding the Knicks. But as far as the basketball operations, we are in good hands with basketball operations.
Yeah,
They're in good hands.
this is going to be very interesting um, with Dolan. I can't wait to hear what the guys on TNT have to say about it. That's going to be interesting to hear.
Yes. Yes.
Stephen
Uh,
A. gonna go in. I know it.
you know, Steven, if he hasn't already, I haven't seen anything from First Take yet. You know, so maybe he didn't go off today. I've been looking to see, but that's going to be interesting. But I know you wanted to talk about the Cowboys, Bishop, before we got off. We kind of jumped on the streaming.
Oh no,
Uh,
it's fine. We can talk about the Cowboys tomorrow
yeah,
after
yeah,
tomorrow night's game.
yeah. We'll get on
We
them
we
board.
we,
We gonna get
we
on
see
them
if we can
boards.
find Jesse and get him to come on tomorrow night.
Oh, Jesse been in sackcloth and ashes.
Yes, he's missing in action.
Jesse came on my post because I tagged him, and he came on my
Yep, you
post.
did. You did.
You know I did. You know I
You
did.
did.
You know I did.
I mean, that's the bad part. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I believe it. I'm just mad that they got beat the way they did. The game was not that close. 48-32. You would think it was not that close.
It was
They was
actually
down by they was
48-16
down
at one point.
27 at the half.
Right. They got. Teddy said, "Leave his Cowboys alone." They had a rough
No,
one.
Teddy,
I
no, because you talk about that
Uh-oh.
cowboy stuff, Teddy Simpson,
Uh-oh.
Theodore,
Uh-oh. Theodore.
Theodore Lamont
Theodore.
Simpson, Shirley
well
Simpson's
Ooh.
son.
well
You
well well
He called
guys,
out the government.
breaking news. Uh they're keeping Mike McCarthy.
I don't know why, but yeah, I fully expected that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't expect him to
Pastor.
fire him.
so that
Yeah,
means
yeah.
Dak is gone. One of them got to go. Dak
I
is
agree.
probably gone.
Dak is probably gone. Dak is probably gone.
But who they gonna get?
There's nobody out there.
Who they gonna get?
That
They
they're
stuck with him.
There's nobody out there.
They
And
stuck
to
with him,
me,
Dave.
to me, Dak wasn't the problem. There is no way.
They stuck with him. They can't go out and get another quarterback. There's nobody out there. If you draft a quarterback, what you're saying is we're starting over.
Yep. And Jerry Jones is not going to do that.
No, they stuck with Dak. They could get rid of McCarthy. And people were saying Belichick. Can you imagine Bill
Belichick
Belichick?
would
Not with
never
no Jerry
work for
Jones.
Jerry Jones.
No.
Belichick would never work for Jerry Jones. Never. Because
Pete
Belichick
Carroll
has
is
a
more of a candidate to me.
Yes. That Pete Carroll, it would be because Pete Carroll is going to be a company man.
Yes, and he's
But-
a rah-rah. He's a rah-rah coach like that.
Yeah. Pete Carroll, yes. Bill
But they
Belichick,
keep it
absolutely
Mike.
not.
They keep it Mike McCarthy. If y'all can believe that.
I
So
can't, just because after the game he said we weren't ready.
they get ready to lose again next year.
How are you not ready at
Mark it,
home?
mark it down. They losing. They not going to the Super Bowl again.
How are you not ready? How do you come out and say we were not ready? That's an indictment on the coach, and the coach should be fired.
Listen, CD Silence of the Lambs is going to be out there again, dropping passes.
CD wants
At
out.
home.
CD Silence of the Lambs.
CD
At
wants out.
home.
CD Lamb wants out. That I do know. He wants out. He's made that clear.
They need to fire the parking attendants, the man that turned the lights on and off. They need the person that sell hot dogs. Everybody need to go.
Well, they keep it Mike McCarthy, so they might as well keep the water boy.
They need to bring T.D. Jakes in there. Ain't he in Dallas too?
Yeah.
They need to bring him in there to pray.
I think he used to be the team chaplain.
So somebody they need to
He
bring
used
him
to
back
be
or
a
something
team
because
chaplain.
they're in bad shape right now. the Cowboys
Mike
are in bad
McCarthy
shape.
is coming back. Can y'all believe that?
Wow. Well, we'll talk about him tomorrow when we get Jesse on here.
We'll talk about him in a little bit more in depth tomorrow. Try to get
Ted
Jesse more
Simpson,
on
McCarthy.
McCarthy. Well, as always, it has been great. Orange and blue skies tonight. All over New York City. Knicks win 109-94. An important win. Tomorrow night, Knicks go for win number 28 on the season as they will take on
25.
I'm sorry, 25 on the season as they will take on the Washington Wizards from the Garden tomorrow night. And everybody's gearing up for Saturday. Saturday when our boys come home to play against us. And RJ and Quick had another great night tonight. Toronto blew out Miami. And Miami's entire starting lineup played. And they
They
were
was up
without
30 at
Ciaz.
the half, Dave. They was up 30
Yeah.
at the half.
RJ and them boys blitzed them tonight. they they gave Miami that work
And
tonight.
Siakam is an Indiana Pacer now.
Yeah.
And so, like I said earlier, I said I'm proud of those guys. I'm glad they're playing well. I just need them to just need them to be shooting bricks on Saturday.
And tickets are through the roof for that game Saturday.
I'm sure. And before we go, now that Siakam is gone, this is RJ's team. He is a legit chance to be a number one.
He showed it tonight.
Let's see what he do with it.
Tonight, 27-8.
And his running mate quickly 17 points.
17, 9, and 8.
Yeah,
Quickly almost had a triple-double tonight. Yo, but we knew it. We knew those, especially in Quickly's case, we knew Quickly was special. We knew it. And that's why it hurt so much for us as Knicks fans for him to be traded. Us here and L, we all knew Quickly was special.
The only thing that's saving us is we winning.
Right. That is the fact that we are 7-2 since the trade. Because trust me, if the Knicks were 2-7 since that trade, we would just be on here ranting.
It's gonna be something Saturday night.
Saturday's gonna be fun.
TV. I'm gonna be sitting right here.
Let me see if that game is on VR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you might be able to go courtside.
Go courtside for that. I need to see if that game is on VR. I gotta check my kids' VR tomorrow and see if that game is on. They're like, Daddy, no, y'all can't hold it tonight. Daddy needs it. I need it tonight because that's gonna be. Because I'll be in
You
New
gotta
York.
send me the info. Send me the name of that thing.
Okay, all right. But I'll actually be in New York this weekend. I was trying to go to the game Saturday night. I was trying to go to the game, but these tickets have gotten crazy. Like we talk about $500 for the 200 section. I'm like, you're bugging. I would have did 200, but 5, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Not for the 200 section. And courtside, like I'm like row 9 is $1,500. Yeah.
One of them boys gonna have a good game. So one of them gonna have a good game.
It's gonna be Quickly.
I think it is too.
It's gonna be Quickly. Quickly's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. I think Quickly's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. But we're looking forward to it.
Brunson could keep up with him.
I mean, well, he had to chase him around in practice. I want to see if Brunson has a good game with Quickly guarding him, because people really discount Quickly's defense. He is really a plus defender. He's not elite, but he is a plus defender.
And he's long, man.
Yes.
He's serviceable.
And he's been guarding Jalen Brunson in practice for the last 3 years. Well, 2 years.
This is going to be something Saturday, boy. Woo!
We're going to have to do a show Saturday after that game.
Dave is sitting there because he
thinks
Toronto coming in for blood.
I do too.
I know they are.
I do too. Those boys are coming in here ready to play. So they're going to get their standing ovation.
And the guard is going to love them. The guard is going to love them.
It's
they
gonna
are,
be like
absolutely.
when Jordan used to come here.
See, I even think they get a better ovation than that because they were ours.
Right.
They were ours. Those were our kids. So this is.
We drafted them, man. We watched these guys grow up in front of us.
The Garden is going to be absolutely rocking Saturday night.
It's going to be crazy. The Knicks better win. That's all I know.
Right. That's all that matters. Listen, I don't care if they get 35 each.
Right.
We need to win that game.
They better win.
Yes.
Listen, all we got to do is win by 1.
Right. That's all it takes. I don't care if we win on a buzzer beater.
With a last-second shot from the corner by Odonobi.
Yes.
Now that would be poetic justice.
They gotta win Saturday, man. They can't lose that game.
This is gonna be interesting. Does OG guard Barrett, or is he gonna be on Scotty Barnes, or do they put him on Quickly?
I think they're gonna rotate.
Who's Tibbs gonna put him on?
Tibbs
all three of them at different points.
All of them. He's gonna guard all 3 of them.
Tibbs gonna move them around.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. I just hope Julius shows up. I need good Julius to show up.
He played good tonight. You should have saw this pass he made tonight on the break.
Ooh, that no-look pass. Ooh, that pass to Anunoby tonight.
That no-look pass and one on the dunk. Woo.
It was pretty.
I'm about to watch the game right now.
It was definitely pretty.
Yeah.
Teddy says Knicks 122, 117 over the Raptors on Saturday night.
That sound about right.
Yeah,
You
it's
might be on it.
you might be onto that. So
Yeah, that sound about right.
so y'all join us tomorrow night after Knicks. Who we playing tomorrow? Washington Wizards.
The
Knicks
Wizards.
Oh,
Wizards tomorrow
that's
night,
an easy win.
which should be a win tomorrow night. We'll talk some more football and Cowboys. Get you ready for divisional weekend, and then of course Saturday night, the heavyweight bout between the current Knicks and the former Knicks, better known as Knicks Raptors. But
The kids come home.
the kids come home
Kids are coming on.
on Saturday night, and it's going to be fun. The Garden's going to be rocking. I really wish we could be there and do the show from the Garden. That would have been amazing. But yeah, join us then Saturday night after that game. Until then, orange and blue skies. Y'all have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow
Peace.
night.
All right.
We gon' break 'em down. New York. Yeah, we gon' shake 'em down. New York. Yeah, we are the New York Knicks. Yeah, we are the New York Knicks. We gon' break 'em down. New York. Yeah, we gon' shake 'em down. New York. We are the New York Knicks. Yeah, we are the New York Knicks. We gon' break 'em down. New York. Yeah, we gon' shake 'em down. New York. Yeah, we are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We gon' break 'em down. New York. We gon' shake 'em down. New York. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We gon' break 'em down. New York. We gon' shake 'em down. New York. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.